good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Engineering Society Forum of 2021. As always, I'm Neassan, son of Muthamil Selvan, as moderator for this forum show. Today, we're going to discuss about the fatigue application on car wheel rim. Before we go through about it, let me introduce our two panels that are willing to be with us today to discuss about this forum. So, so the first panel here is Dhanevhwaran A Seathuraman, and the second panel is Muhammad Aiman bin Sheikh Muslim. Okay, let's start. Now we want to look the history of the wheel rim. The evolution of a car wheel began for back to the Stone Age based on the archaeology. The first ever wheel was a potter's wheel dating back to 3500 BC. Then the Greeks invented the H wheel type with crossbar. Iron was added to the around 1000 BC by the cell. Wire spoke emerged in 1802 when Borer got a patent on the wire tension spoke. Okay, and rubber pneumatic tire was used around 1845, which was invented by R.W. Thompson, while John Dunlop improvised tires by using different kind of rubber. The modern automobile wheel was invented by Carl Benz for the Benz patent motor wagon. So, description of wheel rim. In this application, we choose Honda Civic 1.5 turbocharged premium wheel rim. We use this wheel rim in this our application. Okay, the description are circular design of the metal is called the rim, in which the inside edge of the tires is mounted on an automobile. A wheel is constructed of a disc and a rim. The third one, rim provides stage for installation of wheel tube. The fourth one, the disc is joined with the hub via bolt. The the thickness of the disc gradually tends to thin from the bottom to the edge. Distribution of material can be obtained after metal spinning, which forms a structure of a constant strength but with several cross sections. Okay, so as we know, there are a lot of materials that we use to make a wheel rim. So I want to ask panel one, Dhanevhwaran Seathuraman, to explain about what are the materials that used to make the wheel rim in our applications.
A very good day, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much for a beautiful question, Mr. Moderator. Well, the type of material used in a wheel rim is an aluminum alloy. Well, why do we use an aluminum alloy? If you ask me, aluminum alloy has a large strength to weight ratio compared to any other material in the industry. Well, as you can see, copper, mild steel, stainless steel pales in comparison between aluminum alloy for a strength and weight ratio. A car wheel is very important in order to protect a passenger's safety. So, what the common wheel aluminum alloy used in the wheel industry is A356 aluminum alloy. Well, the solidification process range between 550 to 650 degrees Celsius. The elements used, which are silicon, magnesium, titanium, ferrum, copper, zinc, manganese, and aluminium. Well, you can see the percentage of all the material used and the mechanical performance of an aluminum alloy um, for the tensile strength, which is 225 megapascal, elongation is about 3%, and the brittle hardness is 80. Well, these are all the description of an aluminum alloy, which is commonly used in an vehicle. That is all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dhanevhwaran Seathuraman, for your answer. So, as we know, aluminum alloy is the material that we use to make this wheel rim. So now I'm going to ask Dhanevhwaran Seathuraman again to explain about what are the tests that to use to this kind of materials and what function of the tests are. Can you explain, Dhanevhwaran Seathuraman?
Well. What are the tests used? Well, a fatigue test is used. Well, to be more specific, a rotary fatigue test, which is conducted in order to determine a material fatigue. Yes, you can see the description of the experimental setup is stated in the diagram below, where the wheel rim is pinned to bear moment to stimulate the process of turning, continue to the wheel's ability of bearing moment. According to the SEA procedure, the wheel rim is mounted on a rotating and a shaft is placed in order to center the wheel in a constant normal force was applied as shown below. Well, why do we use a fatigue test? If you ask me, a fatigue test is a very important in engineering application, as fatigue is conducted to measure the reduction of stiffness and the strength of material. We can use SN graph to determine the fatigue of resistance, and it can predict the fatigue life of a wheel rim at the production stage itself. Well, this can reduce the number of experimental prototypes and shorten the development of the cycle. So the process will be shorter, the cost will be lesser. So these are very, very good in the engineering application industry. That is all from me. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Dhanevhwaran A, on your great explanation on those questions. So we can conclude that fatigue test is used to determine the material fatigue behavior. Okay, now before we move on to the next question, let's take a break and save your popcorn because more to come.
Yeah. Siege. Riley. And when you hear the sound of the drum, we'll be saying, here we come. Yeah, here we come. Hey, here we come. Here we come. Here we come. Yeah, here we come. Hey, here we come. Hey, here we come. Here we come. And when you hear the sound of the drum, we'll be saying, here we come. Yeah, here we come. Hey, here we come. Here we come. Here we Yeah, here we come. Hey, here we come. Hey, here we come. Here we come.
Hello and welcome back to our forum today. So for my next question, I'm going to ask our panel to Aiman bin Sheikh Muslim. Okay, so now the current problem that many people face are the fracture of wheel during usage. So what are the modifications can be used to prevent this kind of problem, Aiman bin Sheikh Muslim? Can you explain that?
So thank you, moderator. So the question is, what is the modification can be used to avoid this problem? So materials can be damaged by repeating loading, which lead to the fracture and failure. So the ways to improve or modify is to increase the strength of the aluminium alloy and choose the suitable one. In order to improve the design of wheel rim, finite elements are used to determine or analyze the weaker part of the wheel rim and revising the geometry of rib and notch. So finite element method is one of the methods used to solve engineering and mathematical problem models. Based on the wheel dynamic bending test, a finite element model of an automotive wheel under static load are constructed in order to analyze the stress of model by using the IDEA software. So we can see the example, for example, which is three consists of bolt, hole, rib, junction with rim and rib of meshing of wheel, and the example of finite element model. This example of finite element model can be used to determine the weaker part and the strengthened part by determined by its color. So based on the research done by Ling Hu, he evaluated that by increasing the small part of cross-sectional area, it will increase the radial fatigue life and the bending fatigue life. At the same time, the material and number of these events remain constant. So this clearly shows that when the cross-sectional area of a wheel increase, the fatigue life increase as well. So why I choose the aluminum alloy? Because it has a high corrosion resistance as a wheel is always exposed to extreme condition on the road. So an aluminum alloy is also a non-sparking metal, which is essential as a wheel is exposed to a high friction condition. So that's all from me.
Thank you, Muhammad Aiman bin Sheikh Muslim. Before that, I want to ask one more question. As panel one, Dhanevhwaran A said, there are different type of aluminum alloy used for this application. So I want to ask, what is the analysis of fatigue for different aluminum alloy used for this application?
So thank you, moderator, for the question. So the question is, what is analysis of this application of wheel rim? So by analyzing the work condition of a wheel rim, there are two major load which are direct load and tangential load. So based on panel 1 set, there are two major aluminium alloy used, which are aluminium alloy 7075T6 and aluminium alloy 356. So the table below show the properties. So we can see the aluminium alloy 7075T6 are more higher in ultimate tensile strength and tensile yield strength than aluminium alloy 356. In modules of elasticity, Poisson ratio, and density, there are no much difference between these two aluminium alloys. So we can conclude that aluminium alloy 7075T6 are more higher grade than aluminium alloy 356. This proof when this analysis graph, it shows that alternative stress received by aluminium 7075T6 are more higher than aluminium alloy A356. So we can guess that aluminium 7075T6 are more suitable to be used in an automotive industry. Not to mention that aluminium alloy A35C also can be used, but it more low grade than aluminium 7075T6. So that's all from me.
Thank you, Muhammad Aiman bin Cik Muslim, for the good explanation. So we are almost to the end of this forum. So we can conclude that a fatigue analysis is a very important engineering application in a wheel rim. Throughout a fatigue test, the simulation is able to predict the area and use for improving aluminium alloy wheel. Through the analysis, aluminium alloy 7075 T6 is the best suited alloy wheel to this application. Thank you for all the panels with Seathuraman and Muhammad Aiman bin Cik Muslim for the great explanation, and thank you for attending this forum, and thank you for you all to watching this forum until the end. So we will meet you again. Thank you and bye-bye.